Hi, everyone. It's Mark Connell here from the Virtual Cantina Network, and I'm joined by Jim Swearingen, who is the principal designer for Star Wars action figures, going all the way back to the beginning, 76, 77. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so far enjoying it, meeting a few new people, and it looks like a good, fun show.
Yeah, I love that 50 years later, just about, we are still celebrating all things Star Wars. And you were there from the beginning. Could you imagine back then when you were designing these toys that it was going to have this following that led for this many generations?
No, I get that asked all the time. I knew we had something. I was convinced from the moment I read the script. So it took a while for everybody else to get it hard. But I never, I mean, you couldn't imagine that 48 years later, I'd be sitting here talking to you about Star Wars. And really, I'll be honest, I don't think Kenner got enough recognition for what they did with Star Wars, what we did with Star Wars, because we bridged the gaps between the first 3 movies over those 9 years. And really, the people that are coming back and talking to me were kids when they started collecting Star Wars. I was 27. So, here we are 48 years later, and people interview me and other designers and the marketing people, and we travel all over meeting fans.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And the industry of Star Wars, it's really amazing. And the other thing is, it brings whole families to events. I'm always tickled to see a dad that started out as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old is there with his son or daughter, and their son or daughter's there. So you get 3, maybe now 4 generations all collecting Star Wars toys and watching Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely seeing it. I already saw a bunch of kids running around in like little stormtrooper armor already at the show. And we're just getting started. We're just opening the show. This is day 1 here at Rebel Scum Con. I like what you said about being in on the design side for Hasbro and everything, because consumer products don't always get the recognition as the people who worked on the production side of the film. I'm in consumer products myself. I'm a licensee. We do high-end helmets, which is very cool. I was actually at Topps, the trading card company, for many years, and they were there in 77 as well. They were among some of the first consumer products. And I think without the Hasbro action figures, the Topps trading cards, everything that follows, and to your point, the bridging the gap in between, like the power of the Force line and all that, like you guys kept Star Wars afloat during what we would call the dark ages, the off years, where we didn't get a TV show every 6 months.
Yeah, we started out with TV shows, and then the movies were really taboo. It was like nobody. That's why Kenner ended up with her. Mattel and Fisher-Price, Tonka, a whole bunch of people looked at Star Wars and said, it's a movie. It's opening in May, and it's science fiction. Everybody is like turned off by Star Trek stuff. But now we're, that generations of people that have, developed Star Wars. It's really amazing.
And now it has to be a theatrical coming out during the summer for us to make the toys, for it to be, to resonate with everyone. What else did you work on besides Star Wars when you were there at Kenner?
I worked for Rainbow Crafts. That became part of Kenner. I started with Play-Doh, Spirograph, Easy Bake Oven, a lot of preschooly stuff. And then when they started preliminary design before Star Wars, we did $6 Million Man. I gave him his eye, his bionic eye.
Cool.
And then as things got moving on Star Wars, I started working on Strawberry Shortcake and doing we did all sorts of toys and lots of things that nobody ever saw.
I've been there where you launch something and no one knows about it.
Yeah, or we just our preliminary design was the concept area, so inventors would bring us things. Our chemistry, we had the chemistry group. They would bring us new materials to look at. So it was always something new. And that's what made, I originally was most industrial designers that I knew back then wanted to be car designers. And I got to co-op at General Motors, but when when I finally got into toys, it was like everything was new every year. 50% of our toy line would kind of slow down, and we'd have to come up with something to replace.
It's still like that. New stuff is what matters every year. It's kind of crazy. 50 years later, the industry and consumer products, very similar and very cool. And 50 years later, I'm still working on Star Wars for product. It's wild.
Now I just do this.
Yeah, this is great. This is my goal. One day, 50 years from now, I'm going to be at a table like this, but I'm going to be paying people to take my autograph, I think is the plan. Well, thank you, Jim, so much for spending time with us. Really appreciate you. And thank you for visiting the Virtual Cantina Network on our Zoom. We loved having you. We will be having you on again to talk in further depth. But welcome to Texas. Great seeing you. And of course, where can people find you online? What's your website or your social media?
On Facebook, I have a Jim-Swearingen on Facebook because it's the right public page.
Gotcha.
So I'm there. I'm not a Instagram. Things can come up then.
Yeah. We'll make sure to follow you on Facebook. That's where you can also follow us, the Virtual Cantina Network, our Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles 2027 page. On the cusp of 100,000 members, make sure you join. And of course, follow all other channels. And as always, you would know this from the beginning. May the Force be with you.